Certainly has appeared to be. Now let's go to the race for Texas House District 118. Republican John Lujan is facing off against Kristian Carranza. And this district encompasses southeast and northeast Bexar County, including Universal City, Selma, Von Army, Somerset, and China Grove. Zach Briggs has been following this race. He joins us now live. Zach?
Family and supporters, it's 52% so far, and it's still quite early, but what's the impression at this moment?
Everybody here was excited when I got here because we had almost a 4-point lead. I'm the only one that's still reserved, right? Because there's still time, and I want to make sure that we have more numbers come in before I start really celebrating. But being ahead at this point is really good. Of course, we want to start off ahead.
And just reiterate some of the prominent platforms that you've been running on in a traditionally Democratic stronghold.
Well, basically the main one is public safety. And I have a public safety background as a former deputy sheriff, retired San Antonio firefighter. Border issues really scare me. I've been down to the border. I've been in depth going down there, seeing what it means to not just the United States, but man, Texas and San Antonio and Bexar County and how it's affecting us. Those things scare me. Public safety is another one. And then economic development is really big in our area. We just got a big JCB manufacturing company here, so then workforce readiness comes into that. So a lot of things we have here in our district.
Now, the fentanyl crisis, your efforts on combating that. We have loved ones who lost their children to the epidemic.
Yeah, so even here today, we have some moms that are here, 3 moms that I saw they're called angel moms, and they're back here, and they lost their child to fentanyl. The first one I didn't even know it was that bad until when I first ran last time, knocked on a door and I met a family that had lost their only daughter, a 17-year-old beautiful young lady, and they were devastated by it. And instead of just being angry and frustrated, I teamed with her on that. She's now been to the Capitol. We passed fentanyl legislation. There's more legislation that we're going to be bringing in this next legislative session. And so you're right, that plays a very, very big part. And it's a good point for the news to set out that don't take anything. One pill kills. The fentanyl is very, very dangerous.
And Texas has one of the most strictest bans when it comes to abortion. We talked earlier about your stance, how you say you're pro-life, and how if you were to be reelected, you would have conversations potentially with some of your colleagues when it comes to maybe amending the law as it stands. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, one of the ones, when you're going around block walking and talking to voters, one of the biggest things that bothered me was some of the ladies that are kind of fearful that if it's in case of the life of the mother, can they get treatment quick enough? A lot of them are worried about things like that. We should have that clear. Doctors should know that. Hospitals should know that. We should all know the procedures take place. And no woman should fear that if she got pregnant or her life was in danger, that the right thing wouldn't be done. And we need to make sure that they know that.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add? The current vibe at the moment?
No, I'm excited about this race. I enjoy serving and working on issues with constituents. I don't like the politicking so much, but it's something that we got to do, and I'm glad today. It's going to be over by the end of the day, and I'm hoping for good results.
All right. Well, thank you, State Representative Lujan, joined by a band of supporters and family.
Boys, yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. We'll send it back to you guys.
Beautiful family there, Zach. Thank you very much. Right now, John Lujan with 52% of the vote against Kristian Carranza, 48% of the vote. You know, Democrats have campaigned hard on the right to choose. What does this election, what is it telling us about that issue?
Well, I think it tells us about that district, not necessarily about that issue. And this district has, in the last redistricting, it became much more Republican. So I think what it's showing is that Republicans tend to be anti-choice and Democrats are more towards reproductive freedoms.
And I think it's much larger than just that district. When you look at Trump's margin that we're seeing right now, when you look at Cruz's margin, when you look at all of the Republican candidates right now, and against a Democrat presidential who keynoted the campaign, not on crime, not on the economy, but on abortion and the right to abortion. I think that is a very significant issue, and where polls are showing that people believe there should be more choice there is a lot of choice. And I think it's unfortunate with some of the horror stories that have been publicized, because doctors did have the right to save the life of the mother. The law is very, very clear about that. I think the message has been sent to revisit it and see if there aren't some exceptions that need to be clarified in the statute. But I don't think it's just one district. I think when you look at this vote, particularly how Kamala Harris portrayed the importance of the right to abortion with no went all the way up to never excluding the third trimester. And when you look at her vice presidential candidate, who can even have abortions, some would say murders, at the point of birth, I think that was a message that many people paid attention to.
Well, first of all, I don't think she was running on abortion. She was running on reproductive freedom, the right for a woman to have autonomy on her own body. And the Texas law is not clear. That's why we heard recently that a young woman died as a result of having a miscarriage. Doctors are refusing to provide care because they don't know the law. And if you hear it, and Lujan said it himself,
he said it himself.
We need clarity here.
Yes.
We need clarity because people are dying. This is not a good law. It's not good for women and the women of Texas, and hopefully they'll go to the legislature and fix it next session.
All right,
I think they
let's
will.